Hey guys, how are you? It's Bricks Nostalgia here, and what I would like to do with you today is to review this vintage Lego set number 6395 from 1988. The set is called Victory Race Lab. This set is fantastic. I'm in love with it, and it's definitely one of the sets that is going to permanently remain in my collection. I didn't have these as a kid, but I'm very glad that I bumped into a lucky auction about 1 year ago, an eBay auction, where I managed to get this set in extremely good conditions with also box and instructions for a pretty cheap price. I do remember paying about £30, postage included, for it. But I noticed already that just 1 year after, it sold on eBay easily for anything between £65 and £70 upwards. So very happy, not just that I got it, but that I managed to have it for pretty much half the price it's worth nowadays. I'm really excited about this set, about reviewing it. I really think he could easily make it in the top 10 vintage Lego set from the late 80s, early 90s era. The level of playability, not just the look of it, but the level of playability is fantastic. It's amazing indeed. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have a look at the instructions and the box themselves first, and then we're gonna have a look at the set itself, go through all its features. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the instructions first. These instructions are actually quite interesting because they show lots of alternate builds as well, and not just the steps in order to build the official set itself. There's a couple of alternate builds here on the front. You can see here, this is a platform, for an oil platform. This is another type of race scenario where this time the competition is between airplanes instead of cars. And we got more on the back of the instruction. We have another type of race scenario with different type of race cars. I think this is more a go-kart thing. And then some smaller pictures that show a bit more details of the previous builds. So very nice, very interesting. Very often a lot of instructions just have the official the steps for the official builds, but this one, or if they have any alternate build pictured, it's just maybe one. It's just one alternate build, but this one has actually 3 for 1, and it's very interesting to see that there are these alternate builds show completely different things. Like, for example, this one shows a completely different concept. This one is similar but uses airplanes instead, and this one I like a lot, that it suggests a completely different structure on the background. So very interesting. This is about the instructions. Now let's have a look at the box. This is the box itself. Very nice. It's in great conditions. I'm very happy about it. It strikes me every time I look at it, because it reminds me a lot of my childhood times when I used to go to the local toy store and see all the sets on the shelves, waiting for me to buy them. It's very nice front cover with really a very nice picture that brings lots of color into it. Then you can lift if we leave the front panel, we have some more pictures shown here that show a bit more details of the whole set, so pretty interesting as well. And if we look at the back of the box, we have we show the back of the box shows once again the alternate builds that for this set were presented also in instruction manual. So I'm just gonna go through a brief overview. We already looked at them. It's the same pictures and it's fantastic. This is a very well missed concept in nowadays Lego. They make big mistakes, I think, in not suggesting alternate builds. However, times change, there's nothing you can do about that. Maybe they will be picking this concept again in the future. Would be nice. Okay, so this was it for box and instructions. So let's move to the set itself. Okay, so this is the set itself. We're gonna have a look at the whole structure first, and then we're gonna focus on the cars and the trucks that are present in the set as well. Okay, so this set is the build is pretty big. As you can see, it's built on two base plates, so it's pretty large, and it's a very clever and very effective build. What I like a lot is there is this whole structure build on a level that is above ground level. I think it's a very fascinating build. You have a stairs section over here that leads you to this first floor. This type of technique, this structure, was very common in the 90s. It's also present in the airport shuttle set in one of the two stations. The stairs built to reach the higher station is built using the same technique, using slopes and inverted slopes. Very nice, very good way, very interesting way to build some stairs. Then you have this whole bridge that leads to the other side of the build. We're gonna have a look at this in a second. And then there is this whole platform on the other side, that is the platform where all the fans and viewers can follow the race. A couple of interesting details is this control cabin that you see here in this corner, and this roof built in the middle section of it that helps to give texture and give more body and shape to the whole build. If we look under on the ground floor, let's say, if we look under the platform itself, what we can see is that there are the two pit stop sections, very well built and very clever, that are presented with some tools, as you can see here, that allow you to play a lot in this area with when the cars approach this area, this stop area. Okay, might sound stupid, but if you are a kid, this is gonna give you plenty of time and plenty of ideas on how to play with this stuff. So that's why I say that the playability of this set is pretty epic, because these little details allow a little kid, a young kid, to play for hours and hours without getting bored at all. Another interesting feature of this main structure is this, which is a camera that is positioned on a set of tiles that allows the camera to move back and forward. It's very nice, very interesting, allows for a lot of playability as well here, and you can see that the camera also has this little feature of being able to change angle, and it's very interesting, very nice. It's a very clever detail that, as I say, allows a young kid to develop lots of thinking and engage in a lot of playability. Last thing, I have the minifigs here. The set comes with 13 minifigs in total, which is huge, I would say. I think only a few train sets in that era came with so many minifigs. You have the four pilots here on the front, and then some various technicians and some a paramedic as well that is supposed to get involved in case of crashes. You have another 4 here on top that are supposed to be spectators or technicians as well, or judges and workers for the control cabin. In terms of looking at the build from the back side of it, there's not much to see except have a bit of a quick look at this cabin section where you can see its present, a little rotating seat and a couple of printed slopes that help to recreate the idea of a console for control and communications. Another very interesting detail that makes me think about how very well thought this set was is this little round of lights with numbers attached that are supposed to be indicators for the various race cars. Very, very interesting, very, very nice. Last but not least, let's have a look a bit more in detail at this control panel. This is a very clever and interesting build. It has just some printed tiles over here and some traffic lights here, but what is very interesting is this feature on top, that is this section that allows numbers to change through rotation, and these little arrows that can change directions, let's say, based on how you move this tile here on top. The concept is very simple but very clever, I would say, as what is using is simply one of these pieces here that can rotate, and that allows this bottom arrow to change directions based on convenience. Now the message, the way you're supposed to use this whole thing is that is for when you want to communicate a certain when you want to communicate a certain thing to one of the cars. For example, we can pick car 3, and what you can tell the car when it passes by is that for the following lap, it's supposed to or turn to the right and then go to the pit stop section, or keep going and turn to the left in case there's supposed to be a curve after, in the sense of keeping going without stopping to the pit stop. So this is another very interesting, clever feature. Looks very good, and that allows once again to put even more playability on top. It's very nice, very clever indeed. Okay, so last thing, we have the 4 cars here and this repair truck. The cars are very simple, are in very classic late 80s, early 90s style. They're very basic. They have just a couple of 4x2 plates on front and back, and then just some slopes on the side to give it structure. And they are all built on these very basic chassis that was very well used in the 80s and 90s for mini cars. Okay, they are all built exactly the same way, just the color scheme is different. However, once again, and I've already said that quite a few times in this review, this set provides you with 4 cars, so there's definitely plenty of playability. I would say that even up to 4 kids at the same time could have played with this set, so pretty outstanding. Last thing, we're gonna have a look at this truck. It's a shell repair truck, as you can see. I like it. It's very nice. I like that he has the shell color scheme with yellow, a line of red, and then white on the top. It's a very nice look for being an 80s style. I like it. And it has these doors here on the sides that contain various tools, in this case an extinguisher here and a spare wheel on the other side. And then up the back there is this whole cable, I can't remember the name for it, this whole cable that when needed would allow you to take the car on top of this, so you can get the car ready to be transported to the next car, to the closest car repair garage. Okay guys, so that's it for this review. I'm just gonna leave you with this take of the set complete with everything included, and definitely great set. I love it, and it's definitely going to remain in my collection for a very long time. So don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, as there will be more videos coming over the next few weeks. Okay, so thank you very much and see you later.